In the quiet, unassuming town of Ravensbrook, there stood an old, decrepit house on the edge of town. The house had been abandoned for decades, ever since its last owner, Mr. Grayson, mysteriously vanished. The locals whispered that the house was haunted, that Mr. Grayson's spirit lingered, waiting for anyone foolish enough to disturb his peace. One chilly autumn night, a group of 4 teenagers, Emily, Jack, Sarah, and Michael, decided to explore the house. They had heard the stories all their lives, and driven by curiosity and the thrill of the dare, they set out with flashlights and a growing sense of excitement. As they approached the house, its looming silhouette against the moonlit sky seemed to breathe darkness. The wooden door creaked open with an eerie groan, and they stepped into the dusty foyer. The air was thick with the scent of mold and decay, and their flashlights cast long, dancing shadows on the peeling wallpaper. "Let's split up," Jack suggested. "We'll cover more ground that way." Reluctantly, the others agreed. Emily and Jack took the upstairs, while Sarah and Michael stayed on the ground floor. As they explored, every creak of the floorboards and rustle of the wind outside set their nerves on edge. Upstairs, Emily and Jack found themselves at the end of a narrow, dimly lit corridor. There, they saw a heavy wooden door, different from the others they had encountered. It was locked, but curiosity got the better of them. Using a rusted old crowbar they found in a nearby room, they managed to force the door open. Inside was a small, dimly lit room, empty except for a single chair in the center. On the chair sat an old, dusty book, its cover worn and faded. Emily picked up the book, feeling a strange chill as she did so. The pages were filled with strange symbols and drawings of demonic figures, each more disturbing than the last. "Look at this," Emily whispered, showing the book to Jack. As they flipped through the pages, the temperature in the room dropped sharply. An eerie silence enveloped them, broken only by the faint sound of whispering, too quiet to understand, but unmistakably sinister. Downstairs, Sarah and Michael heard a loud bang and rushed upstairs, calling for Emily and Jack. They found them in the small room, staring in horror at the book. "What's going on?" Michael asked, his voice trembling. Before anyone could answer, the door to the room slammed shut with a force that shook the walls. Panic set in as they tried to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. The whispers grew louder, and the air turned icy cold. From the shadows, a dark figure began to materialize. It was Mr. Grayson, his eyes glowing with a sinister light. His once human form was now twisted and grotesque, a ghastly specter of his former self. "You shouldn't have come here," he hissed, his voice echoing around the room. The teenagers backed away, their hearts pounding with terror. They screamed and pounded on the door, but it was no use. One by one, they felt an icy hand grip their hearts, squeezing the life out of them. Emily was the first to fall, her eyes wide with fear. Jack and Sarah followed, their screams echoing in the small room. Michael, the last one standing, felt a cold hand on his shoulder. He turned to see Mr. Grayson's twisted face, inches from his own. "Join us," Mr. Grayson whispered, his breath like a winter storm. Michael's scream was cut short as darkness enveloped him. The room fell silent once more, the only sound the faint whisper of the wind outside. Years passed, and the house remained abandoned, its dark secrets hidden from the world. But on quiet nights, when the wind blew just right, the townsfolk swore they could hear the faint echoes of screams and the sinister whisper of Mr. Grayson, warning anyone who dared to approach. "Leave while you can, or join us in the dark."